You think she's pulling away because she doesn't care. But what if the distance isn't rejection? What if it's fear? Let me tell you something most men never figure out. When a woman who is Alan suddenly goes quiet, when she withdraws after getting close, when she creates space right when things feel real, it's not always because she's lost interest. Sometimes it's because she hasn't. Sometimes the intimacy you built didn't push her away. It terrified her into retreat. And the reason you can't see it is because you've been conditioned to read distance as disinterest, absence as rejection, silence as the end. But that's not always what's happening. Sometimes she's not avoiding you. She's avoiding what you make her feel. And if you don't understand the difference, you'll make the same mistake every man makes. You'll chase, you'll panic, you'll try to fix something that isn't broken, and you'll turn her fear into confirmation that she was right to run. So before you go another day misreading her signals, let me give you the framework you need. Hit that subscribe button right now, not because I need another number, but because you need consistent reminders that the truth doesn't care about your feelings. You need a place that refuses to feed you comfortable lies. You're here because the real reason. She's pulling away, something isn't working, and this channel exists to make sure you stop repeating the same blind loops. Subscribe, because clarity is a practice, not an accident. Now, let's break this down. Here's the thesis. When a woman pulls back after real intimacy, after genuine connection, after moments where the walls came down and she let you in, and then suddenly creates distance, goes cold, stops initiating, becomes unavailable, it doesn't always mean she's done. It often means the opposite. It means she felt something real, something that scared her, something that threatened the control she's built around her emotions. And her instinct wasn't to lean in. It was to protect herself from you, from the vulnerability, from the risk of being hurt. And that's the part you don't get. You think connection creates closeness, and it does for you. But for someone who's been burned, someone who's built armor, someone who's scared of losing herself in another person, connection creates threat. Intimacy equals exposure. Vulnerability equals danger. And the moment she feels herself falling, the moment she realizes you're not just another guy she can keep at arm's length, her nervous system kicks in and says, run. You're sitting there replaying the last conversation, wondering what you did wrong. You're analyzing the last text, the last date, the last moment things felt off. You're asking yourself if you said something, if you moved too fast, if you weren't enough. And meanwhile, she's not thinking about what you did wrong. She's understanding fear versus disinterest. Thinking about what it would mean if you did everything right. She's thinking about how much it would hurt to lose you. She's thinking about the fact that she already cares too much, and caring too much has cost her before. So she pulls back. Not because the feelings aren't there, because they are. Let me tell you what most men do here. They panic. They feel the distance and immediately assume it's over. So they start performing. They start texting more, trying harder, asking what's wrong, seeking reassurance, offering solutions, trying to pull her back in with effort and attention. And every ounce of that energy confirms her fear, because now you're not the grounded man she felt safe with. You're the needy one trying to hold on to something slipping away. You've switched from presence to pursuit, and pursuit makes her run faster. Here's the misconception. You think showing her you care will bring her back, but what you're really showing her is that you need her validation to feel secure. And that's not attractive. That's not safe. That's not the man she started falling for. The hard truth is this: her fear isn't your job to fix. Her walls aren't your mission to break down. Her retreat isn't your responsibility to reverse. Your job is to stay solid. Your job is to remain the version of yourself that made her feel something in the first place. Your job is to hold your frame, maintain your life, keep your purpose front and center, and let her come back on her own terms or not. Because the moment you make her emotional state your emotional state, you've lost yourself, and losing her defense mechanisms. Explained yourself is what makes her loss permanent. Let me tell you why this happens. Why does a woman who's into you suddenly pull away? Because somewhere in her past, intimacy became pain. Somewhere along the way, she learned that letting someone in means giving. them the power to destroy her. Maybe it was an ex who used her vulnerability against her. Maybe it was a father who abandoned her. Maybe it was a relationship where she gave everything and got betrayal. Maybe it's just the pattern she's seen play out over and over. Closeness leads to disappointment. So she built walls, she built control, she built a version of connection where she stays just involved enough to feel wanted, but just distant enough to stay safe. And you being real, being consistent, being someone she actually respects. You broke through that. You made her feel something she swore she wouldn't feel again. And now she's terrified, not of you, of herself, of how much she wants this, of how badly it would hurt if it fell apart. That's what you're dealing with. That's the real dynamic. She's not ghosting you because you don't matter. She's creating distance because you matter too much. And here's what it costs when you don't. See it. You start chasing. You start making it about you. You start bending yourself into shapes to win her back. And in doing so, you become exactly the kind of man she doesn't respect. You abandon your center to revolve around hers. You stop being the rock and become the wave. And waves don't make anyone feel safe. Here's the reframe. Her pulling away isn't a problem you solve with more attention. It's a test of whether you're actually the man she thought you were. It's a test of your groundedness. It's a test of your self-respect. It's a test of whether you, sign she's scared, not uninterested, need her, or whether you're simply open to her. And if you fail that test, if you panic, if you chase, if you make her distance your crisis, you confirm every fear she has. You prove that she was right to run. But if you pass it, if you stay calm, stay busy, stay purposeful, stay outcome independent, you become the exception. You become proof that not every man falls apart when she pulls back. You become evidence that maybe, just maybe, this one is different. Let me paint you a picture. Let me show you what the man who handles this correctly looks like. He doesn't spiral when she goes quiet. He doesn't text her paragraphs asking what changed. He doesn't show up unannounced trying to talk things through. He doesn't make her emotional weather his emotional climate. He stays in his life. He keeps working. He keeps training. He keeps building. He keeps moving toward his purpose. He's not ignoring her. He's just not revolving around her. He's not cold. He's just not desperate. He's not playing games. He's just refusing to play into her fear. When she finally reaches out, and she will if she's real, he doesn't punish her for the distance. He doesn't ask why she disappeared. He doesn't demand an explanation. He just shows up the same way he always has, calm, present, unbothered. He doesn't make her wrong for needing space. He just makes it clear through his actions that space doesn't break him. And that calm, that steadiness, that refusal to collapse when she tests him, that's what makes her feel safe enough to come back. That's what proves he's not like the others. He doesn't chase. He doesn't cling. He doesn't shrink. He just exists in his own frame and invites her to join him when she's ready. And if she's not the push-pull dynamic decoded ready, he keeps moving. He doesn't wait around building a fantasy of who she might become. He deals with who she is. And if who she is right now isn't available, he doesn't put his life on pause. He redirects that energy back into himself. That's called self-respect. And self-respect is magnetic. Now, let me give you the action steps. Let me tell you exactly what to do when you recognize this pattern. First, stop chasing immediately. If you've been texting more than she is, stop. If you've been initiating every conversation, stop. If you've been trying to schedule every hangout, stop. You are not her therapist, her emotional manager, or her validator. You are a man with a life, and she is either part of that life or she isn't. Stop performing for her attention. Second, get back into your purpose. Whatever you were building before she came along, your business, your body, your craft, your mission, get back to it. Not as a distraction, as your priority. Because the version of you she fell for wasn't the one obsessing over her texts. It was the one obsessed with becoming better. Return to that. Third, when she does reach out, don't punish her, but don't reward the absence either. Be warm, be present, but don't act like nothing happened. You're not going to interrogate her, but you're also not going to pretend that distance doesn't mean anything. You meet her where she is, but you don't abandon your how to respond with masculine strength. Standards to do it? If she wants depth, she has to show up for depth. If she wants access, she has to be available. You don't negotiate with inconsistency. Fourth, let go of the outcome. This is the hardest one, and it's the most important. You have to be okay with the possibility that she doesn't come back. You have to be okay with the possibility that her fear wins. Because if you're holding on to her as the solution to your loneliness, your validation, your worth, you've already lost. She's not your answer. You are. Your life works with or without her. That's not coldness. That's freedom. And freedom is what allows real connection to exist. Fifth, if she comes back and it happens again, if the cycle repeats, if the intimacy triggers another retreat, if the pattern doesn't shift, you walk. Not out of anger, out of self-respect. Because you are not a rehab center for someone else's unresolved trauma. You are not a testing ground for someone else's fear. You are not a placeholder while she figures out if she's capable of showing up. You are a man who knows his value, and value doesn't beg to be seen. Here's what you need to understand at the core level. You cannot love someone out of their fear. You cannot consistency someone into trust. You cannot prove your way into her feeling safe. She has to do that work. You can be the kind of man worth doing that work for, but you cannot do it for her. And trying to do it for her turns you into the anxious one. It turns you into the one who needs her more than she needs you. And that inversion kills attraction faster than anything else. She's not avoiding you because she doesn't care. She's scared because she does. But your creating safety for vulnerability job isn't to eliminate her fear. It's to remain someone worth being scared for. It's to be the man who doesn't collapse under the weight of her uncertainty. It's to hold your ground while she figures out if she's brave enough to meet you there. And if she isn't, that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of where she is. And where she is might not be ready for where you are. And that's okay, because you are not in the business of convincing anyone to choose you. You are in the business of becoming the kind of man worth choosing and then letting people make that choice freely. Most men lose here because they think love is about effort. They think if they just try hard enough, care loud enough, show up consistently enough, she'll come around. But that's not how it works. Love isn't effort. Love is alignment. And if she's not aligned, if her fear is louder than her desire, if her past is heavier than her present, no amount of your effort changes that. Only her decision does. So stop trying to manage her emotions. Stop trying to fix her fear. Stop trying to be enough to override her walls. Just be you, the grounded, purposeful, self-respecting version of you. And let that be enough. Not because it guarantees she'll come back, but because it guarantees you won't lose yourself trying. You are not the problem. Her distance is not moving forward with confidence evidence that you're lacking. Her fear is not proof that you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. And the right woman won't make you prove it. She'll recognize it, respect it, and rise to meet it. Even if it scares her, even if it takes time, even if she stumbles, because that's what real love does. It doesn't run forever. It comes back, not because you chased it, because it couldn't stay away. And if she doesn't come back, you keep building, you keep growing, you keep becoming, because you were whole before her and you'll be whole after. That's not bitterness. That's power. That's the difference between being a man who needs someone to complete him and a man who's complete on his own and simply open to sharing that completeness with someone worthy. She's not avoiding you. She's scared of falling for you. But whether final thoughts, love without fear or not, she overcomes that fear is her choice. And your peace cannot depend on her making the right one. You are the answer. You've always been the answer, not her, you. Now hit that subscribe button if this hit different. This channel doesn't do surface level comfort. This is where you come to remember who you are when the world tries to tell you you're not enough. This is where you come to rebuild your frame when everyone else is trying to break it. You're not here by accident. You're here because something in you knows there's a better way. So lock in, stay consistent, and let's build the kind of man no one can shake. You're not alone in this. You're part of a community that refuses to settle, refuses to shrink, and refuses to beg for what we deserve. Welcome back.